Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you guys are doing great. Today we'll be talking about sugar. Now this is a very interesting and to some degree a very controversial word. Now why is this controversial? Because it has a lot of connotations attached to it. Sugar this, sugar that. You must have heard about it, haven't you? But we will be focusing on the real deal, the substance itself. Now, this is one of the most widely used and abused commodities of our daily life. Talking about abuse, if you come across the people who are doing diet, this is probably the cardinal sin of dieting, to binge on sugar. Now, to be fair, it is hard to find one individual nowadays who does not share some guilty pleasures associated with sugar. That means this is a very important subject, and that's the purpose of making this video. We should talk about it. So, since the time you get out of the bed, or even before you get out of the bed, chances are you're probably binging on sugar on a day-to-day basis. Okay, let's say 4 a.m. in the morning, you are hungry. Who comes to your rescue, right? The munchies, the 4 a.m. munchies, the chocolates, laced with truckload of sugar, unfortunately. And then let's say that you wake up, you have your breakfast cereal. Once again, you will fall victim to the predator called sugar. Okay, and now let's say that you want to have some yogurt. If it is not Greek yogurt, like unsweetened Greek yogurt, chances are again you will be having at least a couple of spoons of sugar. Okay, now you want to have some soft drink right after your lunch. Another opportunity to binge on sugar, this time probably a truckload of it. And let's say that you are hungry in the afternoon, you want to have some snacks. Alrighty, so cookies come to your rescue. Once again, there's an opportunity for you to binge on sugar. And now it's evening time, you're probably heading home and you buy a large pizza. The smell is so enticing that you can't resist. So you bought a large pizza. Chances are the bread at least laced with sugar. Oops. Okay, or even if you have a celebration like your friend's birthday or an anniversary, well, there you have it. You got another opportunity to binge on a truckload of sugar. You want to get a slice of the cake. Okay. So there are numerous opportunities in our day-to-day life where you are pretty much bombarded with different types of items that are laced with sugar. Now there are obviously some items there, that they're laced with sugar. Let's say, for instance, the cookies, right? The pastries, and probably the worst culprit of all, the typical soft drinks, like the sodas and the colas. So these items definitely have a lot of sugar. Your spread, like the morning spread, Nutella spread, or jam, jelly, whatever you prefer. All of these items, they have lots of sugar, and pretty much everyone knows about it. But of course, there are items that you probably don't know that there are still quite a lot of sugar. Talking about bread, for instance, or breakfast cereal, for instance. Okay, these items, although they may look innocuous, harmless, but guess what? They might have some sugar in it. Okay, so and there are some cultural issues too. Like, you are actually lucky that if you are born like in a culture, like if you're coming from Indian subcontinent, if you go to the streets of India or Bangladesh, for instance, okay, there is this street food. They sell like sweets that are floating on the sugar syrup. Okay, now in the afternoon, if you go to like the Indian subcontinent in the afternoon, now these sweets are actually prepared for a long time, and then they come out of the oven in the afternoon. And I can tell you, like even thinking of it will make you sick. They are so freaking delicious. They are just delicious. Like they're warm as they come out of the oven in the afternoon. Like they have been floating on the syrup for some time, but as they're served, okay, they are just so mouth-watering. They are just delicious, right? Lucky that they don't sell it here. But avoiding those most obvious temptations, like no matter how much willpower you have, you probably hello. Okay, so yeah, so what I was talking about. So let's say, for instance, that you are very massive on your willpower. So if you have that kind of a like massive willpower, yes, you probably can wield that willpower and avoid that temptation. But for most of the people, like for mere mortals like us, probably not going to happen. So there are cultural issues, there are habitual issues. So all of these things can contribute to binging on the sugar. Okay, so some items, as I said, they have lots of sugar. Some items are not so obvious. Even if you think about the all natural fruit juice, if you read the label carefully, that's the key word, carefully, then you find out that this all natural fruit juice also have some sugar. In fact, it can be quite a lot. So there are items that you may not know, or even if you do know, it's very difficult for you to resist the temptation. See, our body needs sugar. Okay, now let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about why sugar is so popular. Now there are a couple of reasons why sugar is so freaking popular. Because it's cheap, obviously it's not expensive, and then you have like it tastes good, like anything that is laced with sugar. That means it gonna stimulate your taste buds. They're gonna make the food craving go higher. So business will be good. If there are more sales, business will be good. So more taste means more customers will be attracted, and of course increased sales, which is a good news for the food manufacturers. And then there is the texture. If you put sugar into the item, especially the pastries and cakes, the texture becomes very, very attractive. It looks good. And there is another very interesting, like I didn't know about it until, of course, I found out much later that it improves the shelf life. If that item is laced with sugar, it acts as a preservative. It acts as a like an antibacterial or microbial agent, which will keep the food in a relatively good condition for some time. So it works as a preservative, and that helps with the shelf life of the food. So these are some of the reasons as to why food manufacturers absolutely love sugar. It improves the taste, it looks good, the food looks good, it acts as a preservative, and it is very cheap. And there is yet another very sinister reason behind using sugar. Guess what? It is very addictive. The more you have sugar, the cravings for sugar becomes more stronger. Okay, in other words, if you like the food, like if you like the food, guess what? you're going to buy it more and more. Again, business will be good, increased sales. Now see, these are the reasons, these are the most predominant reasons as to why sugar has been used and will be used in lots of our food, and in sometimes without your knowledge that how much is in there. Now see, our body actually needs sugar. Okay, it is like a carbohydrate, and the body breaks this carbohydrate into what do you call glucose, and glucose is essential for like the regular function of the body. It's like the fuel for the engine. So we need sugar, but if you consume it too much, that's when pretty much all hell breaks loose, especially if you have like a apple belly, or let's say a pear belly, right? If you have lots of fat around your waistline, that's when you are showing the danger sign. Again, look, I'm not a health professional, by the way. These are like my own observations, so I could be wrong. So correct me if I am wrong. So once you have developed that shape, that, you know, like the pear belly shape, that's when you have pretty much crossed the red line. Like you shouldn't touch sugar at that point whatsoever. Anything, not just the sugar, like anything that can be sweet. So you're probably better off not using or not having it at all at that point. So now the question is, how can you avoid sugar? Because it's so addictive and it's so widely used. The question is, how on earth can you avoid it? Now, one of the things that people often try is abstinence. No sugar whatsoever. Now, of course, it requires a lot of willpower. Now, I have a good story, by the way. I tried this abstinence for some time. Okay, let me tell you about my story. So a couple of years ago, I bought a lot of chocolate. And the reason why I bought this chocolate was because they were special. Now, by the way, there is no such thing as special. It's just another way of getting the customers hooked into buying all these sugary items. You probably like anything that you see on a supermarket aisle, right? Anything that is processed, it has sugar. Okay, again, correct me if I'm wrong. Even those all natural fruit juice, anything that you see on a supermarket aisle that has gone through some sort of refinement, chances are that item is laced with sugar. And these food manufacturers gonna do all sorts of things to make you buy it. And one such thing is obviously, to put these items on special. So that's how I ended up buying quite a lot of sugar. I like quite a lot of chocolates. And guess what I did? I dumped it into the bin after buying it. Because my rationale was this, that look, if I consume this sugar, it will be a waste, like it's gonna damage me. It will be like a complete waste in terms of my health. Okay, so instead of wasting these items, instead of getting it into my body, I decided to, throw it into the bin. So at least I'm wasting, right? I'm wasting the money, but I'm not wasting that much. Okay, if it goes into my body, the damage it's gonna cause, damage it's gonna create, it will be far more expensive for me to recover compared to what I would have to undergo, what I would have to give up if I just dump it into the bin. So that's how I ended up throwing all this chocolate into the bin. And guess what? It really worked for some time. I was completely away from this sugar for a very long time. I'm talking about at least 3-4 years. But then again, like the old habits die very hard. And after a couple of years, the same habits, they came back. So that's when I was thinking, okay, so what can I do? Because, like if you have a massive willpower, if you can wield that willpower every now and then, like as soon as your eyes lay up on those sugary items, whether it's chocolates, whether it's cookies, whether it's Nutella spread or bread or yogurt, whatever it is, you know, like cakes, all these delicious things, they're right in front of your eyes as you're walking down the aisles, as you're walking inside a supermarket. Every time you see them, it is very difficult, at least for me, to withhold from having these items every now and then. So I thought, okay, what else can I do other than, you know, exercising this massive willpower every single time? That's when I was thinking about having an alternative. Can you develop a routine in your daily life where you don't really have to worry too much about having a cake or a chocolate every now and then? And that's the purpose of this video, by the way. So that's what I'm trying to do. Like if you have a routine, like I've been, you know, exploring, sorry about it, I've been exploring this trail for how long? About 20 minutes. And guess what it did to me? Right now I am kind of sweating, right? And my heart rate has increased. My whole body is kind of wet. Okay, so this is one of the things that probably you can try as well. Like if you have that kind of uncontrollable desire, craving for sugar, perhaps it is a good idea to develop a routine where you would be able to, you know, lose that truckload of calories in just 15-20 minutes time. Now this is a very ragged, a very rocky terrain, the terrain that I just walked around. So yeah, if you, the couple of things that you definitely should have is a good pair of shoes, by the way. Is a good pair of shoes, and a water bottle can come handy. Right now it's winter in Australia, and guess what it did? 20 minutes, a daily routine. It probably can help you a lot in your journey to overcome this desire for sugar. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed. If that is the case, like it, share it, spread the news, and I'm definitely looking forward to joining you on the next one. So bye for now.